Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's make sure we get all the audio kicked off right. We rock these streams. We start these streams right away now. We don't do, I had it open in the background. We don't do the stream intro anymore. We just get started. So that can be jarring for some of you. Some of you waiting in the wings. That could be a kind of a shock to the system when the stream hits. I'm working on a shorter intro, but for now, none of that matters. Good freaking morning and welcome to Friday Morning Magic, the most fun you can have on this channel at this specific URL in the entire internet. That's right, I safeguard myself against offending anyone by just saying it's the most fun you can have on this channel, and today is an iconic day. Let me know in chat, do we have audio going off right? Is everything flowing well? Can you guys hear me okay? Is the music at a good level? Because today is going to be an iconic day, and I want to make sure with this iconic announcement I'm coming through clearly. So while you guys let me know about the audio as we configure everything and get set up. Devin, Stream OG says mic check, good, that's what I'm talking about. Anchor Collections, good morning. Yoko with the Space Ghost Coast to Coast intro this morning. Liberty Jones, good morning. Thank you guys for tuning in and welcome. Welcome to Friday Morning Magic. You guys know, at this point you know, I have way too much fun doing stuff like this. I enjoy this way too much. If you're here, make sure you like the stream, help grow the channel, and help spread the stream to more potential viewers so we can have a more engaging conversation. The more voices in the room, the more entertaining it can be. But I love seeing some of you guys tuning in every single week. That is not lost on me. That's just incredible. Let's see, who do we got here? How many do we got? Who do we got? If you're in chat, MTG Captain, good morning. Yoko said, I'm never safe. Orniter, good morning. Captain Dingus, what's up? Captain Dingus, fantastic name. What a name. Good morning, everyone. This is an iconic day. And for those who are tuning in early and showing up a bit early as we get started, I want to point out, while we have a lot of fun Magic the Gathering things to talk about today, I have something, I don't know, it might be game-changing, it might be channel-changing, it might be life-changing. As you know, my daughter's about to turn 1. She's about to turn 1. She's turning 1. And that means sometimes I look like this. And I got an old YouTube trick for you guys. When I look like this, it's time to bring it back. The hometown TCG hat is coming back because I haven't had much time to get a haircut. And for that reason, snapback's back, baby. Instantly make myself look like I'm trying to look much cooler than I am. But all of you know, just because I haven't had time to get a haircut. Snapback's back. Good morning to each and every one of you that are tuning in. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But for now, I will do cheers. I hope all of you have your caffeine, whatever choice that might be, because on this stream, that's what we do. We wake up and we talk about some Magic the Gathering. And if you're tuning in from around the world, then, you know, whatever juice is your friend. Yoko said, you look like Lyle Fred Durst. Fred Durst, I don't know who Fred Durst is. Do I have to Google Fred Durst on stream? Who's Fred Durst? Somebody tell, oh my gosh. Am I aging myself? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Fred Durst. I mean, this guy's a little more, hold on, this guy's a little more hardcore than me, but like, he's got defined cheekbones, which I don't have. I got the puffers. I got the puffers going on. Look at this. All right, listen, hey, listen, I'll take it. This person, oh wait, never mind. Now he looks old. Oh no, do you guys just call me old and burn me? I didn't even realize. You guys are all jerks. First of all, Devin, Louis has Josh moments. Let's get one thing straight. Louis has Josh moments. No, Louis the OG. Louis' channel started before mine. You need to do more coke. No, okay, not gonna happen. But we got a lot to talk about. I wanted to get into reserved list discussions today. And the reason I wanted to do that today is we actually don't have all that much going on in the world of Magic the Gathering. Things are a little bit slow. Wilds of Eldraine dropped, and sales are kind of continuing to trickle through as most standard sets do. We're still waiting on Doctor Who, and while we've got some spoilers, like, I don't really feel like analyzing each individual spoiler provides much entertainment or value, and it's not something I really like to do. I like to open the box and kind of experience the cards for the first time. So I really wanted to just take this time and step back. Let's talk about some core Magic fundamentals. Let's talk about some principles. Talk about what I'm going to be doing, because I've decided, and if you're subscribed to this channel, you'll see the video coming out this week. I've decided I want a Black Lotus. Like, I know many people out there have their Black Lotuses. Stores, store owners, business owners, they all have their Black Lotus. But remember, I'm just a Magic fan. Like, I'm just a Magic player. I go to F&M Modern events. Like, I don't have a Black Lotus. That's never something I've obtained. But now, boy oh boy, do I want one. So I'm going to put together a plan to continue building my other collections and try to achieve my goals. So I'm going to talk about that in a video, and that got me thinking about the reserve list and about some of these old iconic Magic the Gathering cards. So I think that's something worth talking about today. If you find that entertaining, again, make sure you subscribe. And if you find stuff like that entertaining and want to support above and beyond, you love this channel, you want exclusive and extra content, make sure you click that link at the top of the chat, wherever your chat is. I think it's on this side, and that leads you to our channel memberships. For $5 a month, you get an exclusive video every single week. You get access to my personal posts and my data when I use my spreadsheets. I put links out there so that you can use them however you see fit, and it helps support the channel. It goes above and beyond, and I appreciate each and every one who does it. I can't believe the channel membership is growing so fast. So if you are a channel member and you're in chat, thank you so much for hanging out. But let's get into some of these reserved list discussions. As I mentioned, the reserved list, I want you to tell me in chat, when I say the phrase reserved list, when I say reserved list, what goes through each and every one of your minds? Let me know in the chat, because it can be a controversial topic, and I don't want it to go in that direction. So I want to get a feel for what you're thinking, because I think the reserve list can be a fun and interesting discussion about the viability of Magic the Gathering collectability. And if people are just turned off by the phrase and you're just going to shut down, reserve list is evil or reserve list is the best, and not, have that conversation, then I think things could go south. So let's get this out of the way right now. Let's talk about what we think about the reserve list. And while you guys are giving your answers, I will say, I think it's an extremely interesting and albeit fun concept for Magic the Gathering, something with 30 years of history, and let's call it a parade of ways to play the game. From Pauper, to Commander, to Legacy, to Modern, to Standard, to Digital. All of these ways to engage with Magic the Gathering, something like the reserve list works uniquely in this game. And the reason is because it doesn't have any cards on it that you require in your possession to play Magic the Gathering. If you want to say, I want to play a format that requires me to play the reserve list, or I have to have these powerful cards in my hand, well, guess what? You can go play something else, and I would argue have just as much, if not more, fun. So the game remains accessible while adding collectability. Now, I know this is a rough area, because some people say, well, I only want to play Legacy, or only want to play Commander with all of the duels in my deck. Well, listen, I understand that, but as someone who's been comfortable in their life not having cards and having to find substitutes and kind of maybe work on a different budget than other people, I think that's fine. And that's something that personally doesn't bother me, but I don't want to project that on anyone else. So let's get into what you guys think about the reserve list. Dad Omega says, Black Lotus is the only Power 9 I haven't owned. Oh, I want one. Rob says, good morning, I have a cold caffeine, I'm ready to go. Let's go, Rob. Where do you see vintage MTG in 10 years? Will it outperform high yield savings, a 100k savings, a 40k, or is it better to hold? Sandro Strapazon, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone has a great day. Good morning, Sandra. Daddy said, reserve list is the main reason IMO why MTG survived the 90s due to collectability to see of many good games during that era. Reserve list isn't the silver bullet. They just need to also stop printing so much. For sure, 100%. We'll get into that. Decapitating, I think I remember your name from last week. I'm going to try to say it right. Break the reserve list now and make limited serialized card. Kind of headed that way. Anyway, Scruffy, cards on the reserve list should be banned in all formats, or they should reprint the new cards that are functionally the same like they do in Secret Layers. Yoko says, I don't think the reserve list existing changes much. If it didn't exist in the first place, the game would be the same. So there's a lot of thoughts on the reserve list, and I think all of these are viable. I want to touch on a couple things that I saw out there. Scruffy saying cards of the reserve list should either be banned in all formats or they shouldn't reprint new cards. Like, again, in smaller indie TCGs, I would agree with this. Things like Flesh and Blood can't have a reserve list. Heck, Flesh and Blood already runs up against the problem of deck staples and these piles of cards requiring extremely limited or rare game pieces, and that kind of hikes the price of what a deck could be up anyway. Now, Magic the Gathering has a benefit, and it gets to cheat the system. I'm not saying it's a fair arena to play in, but when you have 30 to 50 million players, people can find other formats to play that are just as much fun, if not more so. Heck, the most popular format is Commander, and that started as a movement of, we want to play our fun cards, we're just going to gather around, have a social experience. So there really is no reserve list or powerful cards required to play in that arena. It's about the social experience. You can have that conversation with your friend, build equally powered decks, and so on. So Scruffy, I would agree with you in a smaller ecosystem, but when you go as big as Magic the Gathering, I think you get to break the rules on some of these things, because you can find an enthusiast for almost anything. I mean, heck, look at this channel. Started just over 2 years ago at this point, and we are growing fairly rapidly. And the reason is, you can find an enthusiast for almost anything that wants to hear a voice or wants to have a conversation about what you want to talk about, because our community is so big. So that's just my thought on that. Briggs says, good morning. Yoko talking about, don't think the reserve list changes much. I disagree. I think the reserve list changes quite a bit. I think the reserve list is a reason why some of the old school people that have been around Magic for a long time continue to engage with the game and the way we can have fun with our hobby. I think that's important. I think finding a reason for people to stick around as part of, if we pretend like Magic maturity is actually just like being an old person in Magic. So Magic maturity has this connotation to it, like, oh, as you get more mature, you're better. Like, not the case at all. What I'm saying is, as you, like, your journey into Magic the Gathering deepens and you get more involved, I truly believe you go from like, oh, I'm playing on Arena, now I'm playing Draft, so now, and used to be, and not anymore, now I'm playing Standard, then I'm playing, Modern, and maybe into Legacy and Commander for fun, and now I learned about the reserve list, and now I'm collecting and building up my binder, so I have the versatility to play these formats, and it offers an end game for people if you want to, eat that much of the chocolate bar, if you will. There's still some at the end for you to enjoy. So that's, again, these are all my opinions, but that's why I wanted to get these conversations out of the way, because I think the reserve list is an important conversation to have, and the value of cards on the reserve list is interesting. If somebody asked, do I think it's going to outperform the S&P 500, all that stuff, and I got to tell you, that is not me. That is not this channel. That is not me. I don't know that. Like, there is a Rudy for that. I don't try to speculate on that. I like to try to follow sales of current sets so we know how we're spending our money, how we can better engage with Magic as we see it. But as far as over a time, what box is going to go up or down in value or anything like that, I got to tell you, that's not something that I specialize in, so I'd have to do a little bit of research. I don't feel comfortable giving you a take on that as of right now. Order says, I think should have a reserve list for the artwork and have rares, mythics not be reprinted while still in standard rotation sets. Now that is an interesting conversation, and reserve list art is something we will discuss today, but I do like the idea of making something in new Magic the Gathering sets be declared as unique, so collectors and people who want to enjoy the product can get in and get involved. But let's take over and let's start looking at some reserved list value. You guys had me on the Fred Durst Google train this morning. Do you really think I look like Fred Durst? Do you guys really? Let's hold on. Let's that's the next poll in chat. I want to know, do I look like Fred Durst? And if we don't get 20 votes on this poll, then you don't know who Fred Durst is either. Yes, no. All right, here we go. We got a poll in the chat. Do I look like this Fred Durst person that you guys all claim that I look like? And I added a who's that function because I have no idea who Fred Durst is. I need 20 votes in this poll if you're in this chat. Like, even if you're on your phone, pull it out, click the button. It takes 2 seconds. Let's look at some reserved list values, and the place that I know best, and I'm open to suggestions here, but the place I know best to do that is MTG Stocks. This is the place where I have always heard, like, you can go to look at reserve list values. When I started building a bit of a reserve list binder, this is where I would go. So, spoiler alert, I do have a bit of a reserve list binder when I got back into Magic the Gathering. Imagine that. I found Alpha Investments, and I was like, oh man, this is a cool channel. I like the reserve list. It's interesting. It's something I've always enjoyed. Let's take a look. So we are going to start here. If anyone else has any other suggestions, I am 100% open to hearing them, but let's just take a look at some reserved list values and let's look at some possible trends. So I know that we used to have lists up here. Let's see if we can search for reserved lists. Oh, that's just a card search. We gotta find some sets. We gotta find the reserved list. If anyone can point me in the right direction while we search for the reserved list on MTG stocks. Someone point me in the right direction. Sealed. Interests. Filters. Reserved list. Oh. How do I get just the reserved list? Show us your binder at Briggs. I will. You know, maybe that's one of these streams where we look for stuff like this. So this is, it used to be able to go up here and there was helpful lists. Helpful lists was a section on MTG stocks and you could just select the reserved list. Click the only button. Aha. Only reserved list. Here we go. Since last, okay, so this is going to be, so we need to go to a place where we find cards, do a filter. This is a scuffed stream. Where is the reserved list? Handy lists, analytics, handy lists. Where is it? Where is it? Handy list. Let's go. I knew we could get there. Ladies and gentlemen, we got there. Let's check in on the poll. Do I look like Fred? There's 19 votes. Chat, there's 19 votes. Somebody get in there and get this vote while we check out reserved list values. And I want to start at the opposite end of the spectrum. I want to start at the cheapest cards that you can get. And I know that there's going to be some of these where the data is a bit janky because it's going to have some recent sales but nothing currently listed. But let's take a look at when we start to get like products that actually have value. And this is where you hear the story of the reserved list. When people think of it, they think dual lands, power 9, Black Lotus. They think all these things. There are cards on this reserved list that do not impact the game in any meaningful way. There's a ton of them out there and they hold just a couple cents of value. Like, look, Ogre Enforcer. You're telling me you want an Ogre Enforcer, and you could also convince me, like, this would be a great candidate for reserved list art. But this just goes to show, like, I do want to have the conversation that the reserved list is more than just those cards that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It goes much deeper than that, and the fact that these cards exist are important, because you can bet there's people out there that have a Blizzard collection, that love the card Blizzard. They want the card Blizzard in their collection, and they go through crazy price spikes like this, but they feel some type of way about that card. It adds some depth to collecting the game, and it adds some depth to Magic the Gathering as a whole. So stuff like that, I think, is extremely cool. You see a lot of these early sets. You see, as we scroll through here, a lot of Ice Age Alliances, Homelands, Mirage, all of these sets that when we look back now, there's not a ton of the popularity when it comes to these sets. We didn't necessarily fall in love with these products, but now looking back, there's a lot of like nostalgia looking at them, and I think that's what a lot of modern collectors lean into. Like, hey, you might not like that now, but let's look at a sealed box of Weatherlight, right, or a sealed box of Alliances or Mirage at this point, and there's, you know, a lot of value, a lot of emotional connection there, and a lot of fun that can be had, even if it wasn't well received. I think this is people who are holding on to hope for things like Streets of New Capena, like me, and let's get this out of the way. I am a Streets of New Capena sympathizer. I am a Streets of New Capena sympathizer. I love Streets of New Capena. I think the set is amazing. I love the gilded foils. It's an incredible Magic the Gathering set. It's going to age well. I think a lot of people are doing those same mental gymnastics that I just did over here. Okay. So we got a lot of low value reserve list cards, a lot of stuff that, you know, you can fill your binder with, and this is kind of where I started on my venture into collecting some reserve list cards. I bought a bunch of stuff that was just like $5 and under. Why? Because Every time I opened the binder, I got a little happy about it. I got excited. It made me smile. It's something that I enjoyed. We just got to 20 votes on the poll, and before we answer the poll and take a look at how you guys felt about it, let's do this, and let's look at the part everybody wants to look at. Let's look at the high end, and let's see. I think if we put average, we're gonna see actual cards that have, you know, have a little bit of a sales history. Might not be listed right now, but we're gonna go average. And as we dig into this, let's answer the poll. Ready? Drum roll, please. Results of the poll. Oh, wait. Are you guys kidding me? Are you guys kidding me? Is that poll the biggest meme in the entire world? Like, what is this? Can we get an answer? What is... It's 44% yes, 44% no, 10% who's that? Y'all are out of pocket. You see? I'm going to put on the backwards hat. I'm going to use young people phrases. You all are out of pocket. You can miss me with that. I can't believe that poll ended up completely balanced. That's crazy. Typical hometown poll. Chat split right down the middle. Everyone just wants to argue with each other. I freaking love it. I do now. Ordiner, I know who it is now. Back to the reserved list. Let's look at the high end of this reserved list. And this is where I think people get a lot of their rub with the reserved list. This is a lot of people's problem, is when you see a Magic the Gathering card and its price is what we're looking at right now. Having this rub, if Ancestral Recall was a staple and required to play Magic the Gathering at any kind of level, I could understand. But like, listen, I have played Magic. This is a moment. I have played Magic for the better part of 21 years now. I think it's like 21 years now. And I have never cast an Ancestral Recall. I've never cast a Black Lotus. I've got to be hundreds of thousands of games, and I have no idea. That number could be completely off base or whatever it might be. But I have played more Magic than I think most people have done other things in their life, and that's just, you just don't need it. I've never cast these cards, and I have had so much fun with Magic the Gathering. Rob, we do have a balanced audience. Cheers to each and every one of you out there. But this is where the reserve list gets a bad rap, in my opinion. Now, we see a lot of these cards tied to playability, right? Volcanic Island, these obviously very powerful cards. Underground Sea, Ancestral Recall, an insanely powerful card. Then we also see some of them tied to being icons. Something like Chaos Orb, right? This card in today's Magic the Gathering, it's not a not powerful card, but nobody's like, guess what will break my deck? Chaos Orb. The reason this card is so popular, commands such a price tag, is because it is so iconic, right? You have this community that love this card so much, and it's not necessarily about the power level that it has or back when Magic was broken or anything like that. It's just a card that, listen, it's iconic, it's tons of fun, and the quantity that are currently available, because the card, was literally thrown around. This is a card that, a lot of them were damaged. If you don't think, I know it's not a Chaos Confetti, but if you don't think a lot of Chaos Orbs were damaged, so many of these cards just got, whipped around. So, the reserve list, this is my point. My point is there's so much more depth to the reserve list and the reserve list discussion than there is to, just the reserve list is bad or the reserve list is good. Now, that being said, as someone who's decided, and again, the start of this stream, I told you all, I want a Lotus. That is my new goal. I'm continuing to collect Brothers War serialized cards. I'm going to continue to collect Gilded Foil Charms. I'm going to continue to collect player rewards promos from the first player rewards series. I don't have that binder around here. Otherwise, I'd pull that one out. Normally, it's right next to me on the floor. But I have decided, on blanket declaration to all of you, I want a Lotus. And I don't want to do something like use the channel membership money to try to get it, which, by the way, if you want exclusive content, you can visit that link that's pinned in your chat to join the channel membership for just $5 a month. That's not what that's going to go to. That's going to go to improving the channel and growing our community. I am going to use my own money to trade for things and try to find my way into a Lotus. Now, luckily, I have a lot of knowledge outside of Magic the Gathering, so that's going to be kind of a route I might take using some indie TCG communities and some of my connections there to try to see if there's some value, or see if there's some things I have that hold value that can be traded into Magic the Gathering and vice versa. Kind of weave in and out. I also have a vintage car collection that you guys might not know about. It's another hobby of mine. It was a coin flip. When I started this YouTube channel with John, one of my best friends in the entire world, and if Devin is in the chat, he remembers the OG Josh and John at Hometown TCG. We started this channel, it was a toss-up. Were we going to do trading card games, something we both had a pretty deep passion for, or were we going to do vintage cars? Because I love to buy and sell vintage cars. I got a 69 Impala and a 66 T-Bird in my driveway right now. So it was kind of up in the air, so I might try to dip into some of that, maybe narrow myself down to one hobby for now, and really work my way towards a big goal. And I think having big goals like this can be extremely important. The reason is it adds, like I said, depth and goals to Magic the Gathering. We talk about standard releases, and with us being inundated with products and getting a release every single month, it gets so easy, especially for me, making almost daily videos on these topics, to get lost in the fray, right? And it's just like constantly new thing after new thing after new thing after new thing, and I'm talking about all of it. It's nice to take a step back and remember, like, hey, there's a bigger picture goal that I have in my mind. I've always wanted a Black Lotus. I've never owned one. Having that being like the things I do outside of the content and outside of interacting with you guys, working towards that goal, is something that I hope to help keep me focused and also help give me some knowledge on not only the reserved list, but the reserved list markets, where I think it's going to go. Because as you guys know, I speculated that trading card games are changing. I think the financial value side of trading card games and people saying, when I open this box, how much money can I get? That's quickly going away with the rest of the changing world. It's going to have to become about the trading card game again and the experience with our friends, and something Magic the Gathering always excelled at and is going to have to pivot and revert back into, as will every other trading card game. So that's kind of my rant on the reserve list. It's something I'm really excited to dig into. I'm really excited to broaden my knowledge and my depth. So if you guys start seeing some reserve list videos pop up on the channel, if you like them, make sure you click that like button. If you don't, make sure you click the, tell me you don't like them and tell me, hey Josh, what are you doing? This is not what I signed up for. And again, I always want to hear from you guys. So I want to talk. I've missed a couple messages in chat. Let me sip my coffee and see kind of what you guys are up to. You guys are still on about the poll back at the top of this chat. That's awesome. Briggs said, my friends don't want me to play Ancestral Recall. Our Moxes don't play them. They're in the collection. Like, see, that's totally fine. Order's got a few Chaos Confetti. The fact that you have them left, big shout out to you for still having them left. Briggs also has an orb. So fun to play at such BM. You are totally correct. It's so beat up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These cards were flipped. They were literally like, ready? Woo! You literally cannot make this up. All right. Does it just live here now? Does this card just live here now? All right. That Chaos Orb destroyed nothing but my glasses. Wow. That was crazy. What's Josh's day job? I'm a software engineer in financial technology. So I'm a software engineer that works with like card processing, payment processing, batching, tokenization of payment instruments, things like that. Nothing crazy exciting. My day job is, I love my company. I love the team that I work with. The job itself is like, it's card processing, right? It is what it is. So sprinters never forget. Devin says nice. Briggs says they don't do reprint, they just make something almost identical. Yeah, sure. He loves cars. You have a lot in common. Backwards hat, cars. Do you like music? Yes, I like music. Do you eat corn? Like cobbed corn? Corn on the cob? I don't know. I know this TCG channel, but have you ever considered making one video about your car collection? I've considered making an entire second channel about my car collection, and maybe I'll find it. We did a little short of just like, someone was asking, I did a Plymouth Fury, and someone was asking if it started, and John and I just did a short about just walking up to the car, rolling down the window, showing that the windows work, starting the car. And if you guys want, let me know. I'll pull that video up and we can watch it. I think it's on my my personal YouTube channel. So Origin Cell said, so you are a programmer? Yes, I absolutely am. Berg said, that's count. I am destroyed. Go to the graveyard. I cannot believe if you caught me flipping that card and hitting myself in the face and catching it in my glasses. That is just a wild time. But things like the reserve list, I don't know. I know we're a little off track. I like the reserve list. I like where it goes. If you really want to see that video, let me know in the comment section. If you don't care about cards, if that's going to turn you off, like we got down a rabbit hole. I don't want to turn anyone off. We are here to talk about Magic in the morning, and that is what we are going to do. So as we talk about that, if you guys start seeing some reserve list content pop up and me kind of looking to expand my knowledge of that reserve list and kind of work towards that goal, let go. Josh, you are always welcome to derail the stream, my friend. You have a great name. I'm not a car guy. Most of my family, yeah, like, listen, I'm not one of those crazy car guys either where I'll have a conversation in a parking lot for like 40 minutes. I just like to try them out. I try to do 1 or 2 every summer, and I buy them and drive them just to have the experience of something that by the time I'm gone, it won't exist anymore. But let's take a look at TCG Player. Let's take a look at the popular online marketplace for trading card games, and let's see if we can check out some Wilds of Eldraine sales and see what Wilds of Eldraine is selling for. Let's just real quick pop in. We won't spend too long here, but it's interesting to pop in. And then the end of the video is going to be about where I think the value of the Lotus is going and what it's going to be in the future and why I'm making the pivot now. In fact, we could have that conversation now. That probably makes a little more sense. So why? Let's talk about why. Why am I moving into talking about the reserve list? Why is this something that I want to expand my knowledge base on and really get a little bit of depth as far as what I know in my head about? And the reason is because of the main theme that I've been talking about. It's going to be a theme that carries this channel into 2022. It's going to be the changing trading card game landscape. And the reason that I want to get into this is because I think as we pivot away from the financial aspect of trading card games and move back into the community aspect and enjoying and buying the cards that are good for our decks, not the ones that we think are going up in value, the reserve list is going to remain. Like, it's going to be the one bastion where that old conversation exists. And as our community shifts away from that as a whole, the reserve list is going to be a place where those people can still interact and still have that conversation, because that conversation matters in the reserve list. And so while I continue to talk about the changing landscape and how TCGs and our community as a whole are changing, I think it is important to still have one foot in that pool and have an understanding of what's going on there, because I do think there's going to be and this is not financial advice. If you guys get me in trouble for giving not financial advice, because it is not, do not spend your money about what I say on this channel. Just don't freaking do that. But I do think it's going to have some major movement, the reserve list as a whole. I think people are going to, as we pivot and the world becomes a little tougher and things change, we're going to either full lean in and be like, yes, reserve list, it holds value, I love it. Or we're going to be like, this is evil. This was the part of the game about Magic everyone hates, and this is still like the last bastion of it that exists over here, and I hate it even more now. So one way or another, I believe there's going to be movement there. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion to be had there, and when I see that's the future of Magic that I see as far as a discussion, and I want to be, knowledgeable about that, and I want to be able to bring you guys entertaining content as well as expand my knowledge on things that I think are going to matter in the recent future. Or in the near future. If you guys think that it's going in a complete opposite direction and I'm way off base, I'm totally open to hearing about it, but that's why now. That's why, like, my train of thought has gone A to B to C to D, and I always try to be very upfront with each and every one of you here about, like, where my train of thought is and why I make the content for you guys that I make and why I talk about the things that I find important and in my brain why they're important. So this is super interesting. We want to talk Wilds of Eldraine. Let's go. Wilds of Eldraine sales information. The collector booster box is the weird one here. The Fred Durst search is still up on my screen. It's throwing me for a loop. The fact that you guys compared me to someone I didn't know about this morning is very confusing to me. I wish I would have seen that one coming, but I gotta tell you, it doesn't surprise me that I didn't. So here we have Wilds of Eldraine collector booster display, and we have one graph to rule them all, one graph to talk about. Me oh my, oh no, oh no. As a standard Magic the Gathering set, we're seeing Wilds of Eldraine fall a bit behind, be a bit slower than some other standard releases. And the thing that's scary about Magic products is when they go like this, it's not like they're just a couple listings like that. Most listings we see here, there's not a lot of price difference between the entirety of the first page. We're looking at a $3 price difference through the entire first page of sales listings, from $194.98 to $197.69. Nice. We're only seeing that small price difference because, listen, we've hit the point where everybody selling on this platform is undercut, and we are inching our way down, which means a couple things. There's no major fall off coming likely, right? Barring MJ Holdings just popping out and slapping a booster box out for $150. There's no really major just drop off coming, but there's probably no major uptick coming with this product either. We saw a lot of movement with something like Lord of the Rings, and I will be fair, I hate comparing standard Magic the Gathering sets to Lord of the Rings. That's unfair. Lord of the Rings is the exception, not the rule, in my opinion. It was possibly the greatest Magic set of all time as far as sales are concerned and reach for Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering as a game. So I don't think that comparison is fair. But we did see some uptick there. I don't think we're likely to see that here. When you compare it to things like, let's say, Brothers War. Let's see, can we... and then we'll go sealed products. Let's look. So when you look at something like the Brothers War Collector Booster Box, which has been out for some time now, we see like the community had various feelings about this box. I don't think we're having that with Wilds of Eldraine, because there's nothing like the serialized card in here for us to have that moment where we're like, we're unsure, now we're sure, we're unsure, now we're sure. But Order makes a lot of points. That doesn't necessarily mean that Wilds of Eldraine is like terrible. And that's another theme conversation that we're having on the May the Zoo Be With You podcast this morning. Make sure you head on over there after you're here. I'll make sure to put a link. We'll watch the intro at the end of this stream. But just because a set the sales are going poorly, and if you're a game store, this product is a bit rough on you or your wallet, that doesn't make it a bad product from our side of the table, from the enthusiast, from the collector, from the player side of the table. There's still a ton of cards. Order pointed out that up the Beanstalk is a $5, I think, common foil right now. So if we go single cards instead of sealed product, and we sort by best selling, we're going to see, well, I mean, you got your commander list, but then you got cards like Up the Beanstalk is sitting up here at the top of this. Why? Because this is a multi-format all-star. This card is incredible. And when you have uncommons in these products that are popping off and doing really well, you find yourself in a good spot. Like, this is a card that a lot of people are going to open, a lot of people are going to get in their packs, and that's going to make them happy. And I think that's a massive win. There's also like things like Questing Druid being played in a couple different brews. I know Aspiring Spike had Questing Druid in a Prowess deck recently, and listen, that's a great place for it. You got an instant exile the top two and kind of play off the top of your deck, which is it's a valuable asset in a deck like that. But this doesn't mean that Wilds of Eldraine is like in trouble or in for it by any stretch of the imagination. I do, however, think that we are going to have to realize that a lot of these cards right now are going through a weird spot. But back to Wilds of Eldraine sealed product, we were talking about the collector booster box and kind of the ups and downs that I expect that product to experience, and mostly, if I'm being completely honest, downs, and that's just an expectation. Who knows if I'm right or wrong. This has been the complete opposite, and I am so glad to have been on this early. Like, listen, you don't come to the stream for many, like, just dead on, watch me, I was right about this takes. That's not what we do here. We find some positivity, we have some fun, we try to bring up some exciting conversations, and we use logic and data to predict how things are going to go. This right here, this, I was just dead right on. I kicked ass on this one. This one right here, I could not have been more correct. The Wilds of Eldraine set booster box is such a win. Such a win. A wonderful product at a fair price that regular people are going to just eat alive. And lo and behold, that's what's happening. And just in time just in time for me to give myself a little, just a little pat on the back. Channel member Nick shows up to show up just for my pat on the back. Nick, good morning. You got here just in time. Look at how right we were. Look at how right we were on the set booster box. Nick, good freaking morning. This set booster box is an amazing experience. This is everything like we want. Coffee cheers, ding! This is everything we want in a product 100% of the time, right? And like at this price, if you're selling this in store, you're making a couple bucks, your customers having a great time. There is literally nothing wrong with this product, and we were on it from the start. Listen, Josh Smith, you're supposed to derail the stream, not derail my confidence. Not cool. So, Wilds of Eldraine, overall, very interesting set, a really fun product. Patrick's got some stats for us, and if Patrick's got data for us, you know that I want to get into this data. If you turn to the chat, Patrick says, yesterday, 32 Wilds of Eldraine set boosters sold at 120 versus Lorcana, 20 boxes at 400. I think people are eating more Lorcana. Don't get it twisted. The number of boxes getting out into a community is important, and Lorcana breaks the rules of indie TCGs because it is marketing to a wide audience, a massive group. Imagine, I want you to close your eyes. Ready? We're doing this. Patrick, this is a great conversation. Good job. Nice work. I want everybody, if you're in this stream, join me on a journey. Let's close our eyes. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy some of this smooth lo-fi. And imagine with me a world, if you will, where Lorcana boxes are MSRP at $144 a box, and Target and Walmart have packs. How many boxes do you think are sold on TCG Player on a daily basis if that's the cost base, if that's your price? We've talked about this, and it was one of my big rubs with Commander Masters. The set booster box was a bastardization of what I thought was the most important product for our community, a way for regular enthusiasts to get out there and enjoy cracking packs and engage with the game. At 300 and some odd, 50, 400, some people predicted $500. Those people were crazy, but like, listen, they predicted it. This was a way that people just couldn't engage with Magic the Gathering. Most people, myself included, don't just like, oh, guess what I have in my pocket? $400. Like, that's not how that works. If Lorcana was $144, because it is marketed to such a wide and casual audience, I truly believe people would be more willing to engage with the product, even if they had bought more product at that point. Yes, if they were sitting in stacks of Lorcana, the box opening experience is a lot of fun. It always brings you back. You can share that experience with others, and the lower price point opens you up to a wider audience, which you excel at already. So I truly believe that them not selling a lot of boxes, which is where kind of Patrick got us down this rabbit hole, and it was a great point, Patrick. I think it's important because I think Lorcana wants to sell more boxes. I will often say something like the Sorcery trading card game. For those that don't know, it's an indie TCG that's coming out and it's kind of bucking the idea of the constant Magic the Gathering release, and they are trying to scale that back, make foils rare, and it's got a lot of great principles behind it. And Sorcery, with its collectors, need their boxes to go up in value. They need that. It's something the minded people that get involved in the community at this moment before beta's release are going to look to something like that as a sign of success. Lorcana, on the other hand, does not need that. And Magic the Gathering standard products, in my opinion, don't need that. Listen, if this standard product came out and the set booster box for Wilds of Eldraine was $400, don't get me wrong, I'd make tons of videos about it. But in my opinion, that would be a failure. Magic needs to service a massive audience. If the box is extremely expensive and hard to come by, it's not servicing that audience in a meaningful way. We look at Magic products as a success, as if they stay on the shelf, they can service our community, and then they go up in value over a great length of time, right? So that's just kind of where I sit with that. Wow, Patrick, good job getting me that. Patrick, you get one of these. Let's see where we're at. Good job. Josh says, don't hurt your shoulder patting yourself in the back so much. Like, listen, while I scoff at that comment, I'm going to leave the Wilds of Eldraine set booster box just like up on your screen. Here. Is this better? Is this better? Listen, when you're not right very often, you got to relish it when you are. Live in the world when you are. Nice Yoko, I think it goes up a little bit, but Enchanted Tales definitely hold back set singles for sure. Yoko, they reprinted the Walking Dead Secret Layers and list up the hard AF to pull. I opened 3 cases of set and got like 6. And so it's like 1 in 3 boxes have a Walking Dead card. Like that's, first of all, that's the list for you. But second of all, I think that's okay. Like, listen, we still buy Lord of the Rings because of the thought of getting this serialized ring. And the pull rate has got to be less than the Walking Dead cards, right? But we just, the excitement, the fact that it is in there. We talked about this a couple live streams ago. The fact that it is in there adds this air of excitement to opening the product. And I think we're more willing to spend at that point. Nick says, it's clear players and collectors have rejected standard collector boxes. Feels like a better value is set boxes and more to crack. And I don't know if that's correct. I still like the notion of collecting some of these collector booster boxes, especially things like Brothers War, March of the Machine, things with these iconic serialized cards. Even Phyrexia All Will Be One being a set that was such a community hit. So I don't know if that's correct, but I think it has shown like, hey, people are less excited about the collector product than they were before. Patrick says, hot take, I think the print world Lorcana was way bigger than people give them credit for. I think it was bigger, but it wasn't big enough. Josh Smith, I can't close my eyes, I'm driving a forklift. Fair enough. Don't do that. How are you texting to us? Josh Smith out there risking life and limb to give us the good word. If they had printed double and the price was under 200, it would have all sold. There's a chance, Nick. I don't disagree with you. There's a chance. R said the demand is much higher than production numbers. Yes, 100% R. And it's directly hurting Pokemon right now. Now, it might be just taking advantage of the fact that Pokemon was hurting before it dropped, but I would argue Lorcana's pulling money from a lot of places. There's a lot of indie TCGs, major TCGs, money that are flowing towards Lorcana, but it's also pulling a lot of new money into the trading card game space, and that's not a bad thing. Freestyle drove off the road a bit. Please don't do that. Please. Oh God, if you're driving, oh no, what have we done? What have we done? Please keep your eyes open. Matthias says, I think that all Lorcana is competition, but Magic is competing with itself. SLD Dump, Doctor Who, Eldraine Commander, Masters, all within a month. Yes. Well, Magic and Pokemon live at such an echelon, right, that it's really hard for anything else to compete with them. So I could 100% get behind that. Briggs says, good point, Matt. Let's go. Scruffy said, Wizards definitely competes with themselves, and it's sad they don't even realize it. I don't think they mind, if I'm Scruffy. I think their model isn't like, hey, how long can we get you to buy the product? It's, hey, can we get you to buy this much this month and this much the next month and so on and so forth. But, hey, I'm not a Wizards rep. I don't know. Nick says they just don't care. Management's mandate is to beat last quarter no matter what. Nick, see, I agree with you, and I think that's what I'm talking about. We leaned in a little bit there. I feel you. Josh is out here causing trouble, and I freaking love it. Josh, let's go. Pain needs to hit investors who demand management change. Lots of pain down that path for collectors and stuff. I'm not sold, and I said this in the chat. I'm going to say this. This is very serious. I really think there's a lot of financial detriment coming to the TCG space. There's a lot of financial hardships and let's call them bumpy roads coming to the TCG space in the near future. And listen, I'm not going anywhere. Like, you still see me. I'm right here as a regular enthusiast, being someone. I'm talking about my channel membership. I'm making exclusive videos. If you guys haven't clicked that link pinned at the top of the comment section, just click the link and give it a consideration. It's only $5 a month, but I'm still buying Magic products. I'm still gonna play Magic. I have a Magic online rental service, but I gotta tell you all, I'm afraid to make Magic gameplay content because it's a lot of work and it does horribly. Nobody likes it. Like, everyone, all they do is talk about how your play airs and how bad you are, and you're like, all right, great. Like, I don't do this anymore. So I like collector boxes only because I can't get the top chase cards. Otherwise, yeah, 100%. You can always lean in and buy singles. Zendez, Wizards doesn't realize they compete with themselves, which is why set and collector booster boxes exist. Why don't they use typical MSRP, and why are they printing to demand? So there's a lot to unpack there. I did a video, and if you haven't checked it out, I haven't seen you, Zendez, I haven't seen your name in the chat before. If you are new here, freaking welcome. Everyone give a shout out to welcome when you see new members in the chat, people we haven't seen before. But I think there's a lot of merit to that statement. I think MSRP would be an interesting discussion. I had it a little bit, introduced the discussion in a video on the channel last week. I think it could also help a lot with the Amazon problem, which is something we're going to see. WotC is printing far and above the demand. Listen, they probably are. They probably are, but they probably have been for most of our lifetime, in fairness. Wallet fatigue, time of the year, monthly releases. Wallet fatigue might be a real conversation, Yoko, for the first time in a long time. Wallet fatigue might be a real conversation. And there is no penalty for them. Nick. You guys are having a great conversation. I love this. I'm trying to keep up with you guys. It's so this right here. This is why I like Friday Morning Magic. This right here, because of conversations like this where I can interact with you guys. Like, listen, if I wanted to sit in front of a camera and just rant and ramble, I could 100% do that. I make 5 to 7 videos every single week, plus the exclusive video. Like, I sit in front of the camera and ramble plenty. This is where it gets fun. I love this. Nick and Patrick just on the same page. You freaking love to see it. You freaking love to see it. Yoko said, with everything pulling it down, still not crashing as badly as most sets. That's because it's better than most sets. Yes. And this is the balance, right? We have to accept Magic the Gathering products can go down in price, and the set can still be good. I want to say that again. Magic the Gathering sets can go down in price, and the set can still be incredible. Now, I'm not sending any subliminal messages right here, okay? I want to make that very clear. There's no subliminal messaging. There's nothing underhanded going on. Magic the Gathering sets can go down in price, and the set can still be good. No subliminal messaging. Don't bother. Don't worry about what's on the screen. Don't worry about it. They can go down in price, and the set can still be good. Listen, I like Streets of New Capena. I have a case of collector boxes around here somewhere. And like, I have a case of collector boxes and just like, oh my god, it's dusty. Is this set that old? Is this set old enough for it to be dusty? It's dusty. Listen, I like Streets of New Capena, okay? I like Streets of New Capena. I like it. I like it, okay? I like it. Everyone back off. Also, hold on. I like this product too. Like, you can't tell me. All right, now you've ticked me off. You cannot tell me that these two products are the same as something like Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. If you sell that, I will not buy it. I will not buy that. You cannot convince. You know what? Nope. You know what? Nope. Now I'm yelling at you. Nope. Now consider. You made me get up. At least click the channel member link and consider joining for $5. Like, now this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. I can't believe you're making me do this. This is ridiculous, chat. I'm legitimately upset that I'm across my office right now. Hold on. I'm back. Hold on. I'm legitimately upset. This was supposed to be my big moment. This was supposed to be it. This was before serialized cards. The Lost Legends. I bet my fellow bozo, one of my closest friends, a man that I truly love, Louis DeGeorge, that this would be a great product. And I won that bet. That wasn't the bet exactly. He bet that Liliana would be $40. I bet it would be like 18. Let's check up on that in a second. And I got him to send me a box because I won that bet. This was my Mona Lisa. This was my moment. It's a good set. It's got leyline binding in it. It's got children. It's a good set. You guys are you have broken me this morning. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. You've broken me because what people are actually spending their money on, and it's selling like hotcakes. Even though it's a terrible product chucked with nothing but reprints and nothing exciting in it at all. Nothing exciting at all. This is what people are spending their money on. Listen, I go with the data. I follow the data. I bend to the data. But it's my moment. Devin says I broke him first with the Fred Durst thing. Listen, you guys have made me need more caffeine. We're looking at Liliana. We're looking at Liliana of the Veil. Oh my god, I was so on. I was so on. I said $18. I was so on. I'm so... Why is this so bad? That's a pre-release card. Oh, I was so off. Oh god, I was so off. Oh god, I'm so bad. I don't know. I think we might have bet on the special edition or whatever it was. But either way, like, ugh. Dominating United was not a good pack opening experience. Like that, like listen, that's fine. Everyone's got their own opinion. Zendes, and you're new on the stream, and you're just coming through with the facts and shooting me down and killing my dreams. And like this and that. Listen, that's fine. You're new on the stream and you're killing my dreams. And if I hadn't been on YouTube for the better part of 2 years now, I would be hurt, but I'm okay with it. I threw a card and caught it in my glasses on this stream. In my opinion, this stream has been grossly successful. Josh Smith says, holy crap, 105. Listen, we are not banging on Streets of New Capena any longer. Like, that's not happening. We're not doing that. Well, hold on. You're telling me. I want all of you. I want you to look into your souls. That's right. No, this is not with a bang, with a whimper. This is how the stream ends. This is how the world ends. I want you to look into your souls, and I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me that you'd rather have this box than Streets of New Capena. I dare you. And this has other IP behind it. This has other IP. It's just not true. I want you to look into your own soul. To look into whatever belief system you follow. And I want you to tell me you'd rather have this booster box than Streets of New Capena. Say it. Say it, chat. Say it. Say it and go full circle. Lean into your hate. All right. All right. This is ridiculous. D-Buck, I can't, like, listen, I'm trying, man. D-Buck, I am fighting your fight. I am doing what I can for you, my homie. I am doing what I can. I am so sorry. I'll take the triumphs personally. Rob gets it. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is now a Rob stream because Rob gets it. And Scruffy, like, listen, it's fine to be wrong. Like, you can be wrong in my chat. Like, I've been wrong and behind my camera before, but like, you can be wrong in my chat. That's totally fine. Zenda says, no, I prefer New Capena. I just think they missed a multi-set opportunity for the Rexian Boom. Capena needs more legs, stretching room. Now Baldur's Gate is gem. I keep coming back. Yeah, like, listen, Baldur's Gate. Another set that like players seem to keep liking, but stores just had such a rough time with it. And D-Buck says, I'm just having fun with it at this point. Yoko said, I would rather get a case of MetaZoo. Yoko, my homie. You can email me at hometowntcg@gmail.com. That's for sale. You can buy it from me, Yoko. So we'll let's talk. If you want to buy it, let's talk. I like Streets, but the last collection I opened was terrible. So then you get some more for sale, but then notice most of the singles deposit a lot. Guys, this has been wild. Let's do two things. We talked about that card video earlier. Let's pull that up. I'll pull that up. It's like 30 seconds long. And then we will watch the intro to May the Zoo Be With You. We will watch the intro to May the Zoo Be With You, and we will find this video right quick. I'm searching for it. Let's go. All right, ready? We have it. We have the video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the footage. We have the footage. All right. This thing's gonna get big. Whoa. It's massive. All right. This was... Someone asked if the car ran and drove, and this is what kicked the idea off of doing the YouTube video for the... And this was all it was. Someone was like, does it run and drive? Do the wheels turn? Does all that stuff? Do the windows go down? And I was like, 100%. And this was the idea. The idea was like, okay, we want to make a YouTube channel. But like, trading card games is something we both know and love, but cars is like a bigger audience. Is this something we should think about? But it's more expensive, and you got to do more. So this was the consideration before Hometown TCG was born. That was going to be the entire intro to the channel. So that was before Hometown TCG was a thing. That was the conversation of like, should we make that YouTube channel? And I love the look of that car. That Plymouth Fury. There's something about that Plymouth Fury that I just mwah. But let's cap the stream off with with an ad. Listen, we'll watch the ad to support the homie, but let's cap the stream off with May the Zoo be with you, America's favorite Magic the Gathering podcast. We're going to click this share button, which if you guys could do on any Hometown TCG videos you watch, that would be great. This is the episode of May the Zoo be with you that you can feel free to visit afterwards. I will point you in the direction one more time. The channel membership, $5 a month, supports the channel. It's helping to build the new streaming setup. We are growing. We're trying to get 3 new channel members every week. So far, we have hit that goal. This week, we are behind. If you were ever considering clicking that button and joining the channel membership, please do so. It helps us build a new streaming setup and it helps support the channel. And I appreciate each and every one of you out there. Thank you so much. Let's get into the May the Zoo be with you. First of all, Nick is a GOAT channel member, commenting on everything and enjoying all the exclusive content. We're getting Nick comments everywhere. Let's go! Josh Smith from the forklift. Josh Smith. Welcome to the channel membership. Whoa, welcome to the channel membership, Josh Smith. Like, listen, it sucks to not be the greatest Josh on the channel anymore, but listen, this episode brought to you by Josh Smith. Let's mute the music, mute the background, tip of the coffee to the great one, Josh Smith, brand new channel member. Thank you for joining today, and let us get into this.
A target, like the last 6 months, they have been building a Target like on the same road as my store. Like you pass Target to get to my store, and so as soon as that thing opens, I'm like, think about all the product that's been coming that they're filling they're filling the store. There's gonna be like 6 weeks of Lorcana in that thing.
He's gonna buy out the Target and put it on his shelves, baby. This one's a lot of fun. We have a lot of conversations about.
Welcome to the Josh is Going Wild TCG podcast, where we also discuss May the Zoo be with you. I'm first joined by America's
Not funny, George.
#1 Lorcana content creator, Josh.
That might be true. We didn't get to talk about Lorcana today. We will talk about it next stream.
I am also joined by the gold.
What do you guys think? Lorcana live stream in the middle of the week? Lorcana live stream in the middle of the week? What do you guys think? Guys, this has been so much fun. Shout out Josh. Again, if you are considering, click that link, give it a try. Ask Josh. Ask the other channel members. DM them, whatever you want. See if they like being a member of the channel. See if they like all the extra access and the extra stuff. But thank you all so much for hanging out. This has been... Listen, the backwards hat's back for at least the day. Until I go get a haircut. The backwards hat is freaking back. It's back, baby. Let's go. Rob, you're here for the MTG chat. Like, listen, we had a great MTG chat today, and I love the fact that you're here. Rob, you always got some great points. Thanks for tuning in every week. Ornator, always tuning in. Scruffy Looking Gaming, still wrong in my chat, but still love you, bud. Yoko, more streams the better. Like, listen, I think you guys, make sure you keep on the lookout. I think we're going to pop in some streams throughout the week. Thank you guys for hanging out. Keith Foster, good freaking morning. Welcome. Mosh made it at the end. Mosh, I missed your comment. Mosh made it at the end. Thank you guys for hanging out. This has been just such a wild, fun morning. I love doing this. I will see you throughout the week, and I will definitely see you next Friday. Have a good one, everyone. Oh, where's my stream intro?